We have with us Mr. Vinod Aggarwal, the MD and CEO of Commercial Vehicles, to talk to us about their sales as well as what's the outlook like going forward. Hi, thank you, Mr. Aggarwal, for making time and speaking with us. Wanted to begin by talking to you how the demand momentum is on the ground. What would you call it? Is it better than what it was a couple of months ago? Is it at similar level? Is it plateauing or worsening a tad bit?
Commercial vehicle industry is absolutely on the right track, and it is growing.
Yes,
and it is growing very well.
Yes, sir.
If you look at the figure, just to give you some sense on the numbers, we have had 3.5 ton and above industry. The growth is 42% in first 11 months. We are now reached 411,000 as against 290,000 last year first 11 months. Now within this, the only non-performer are the exports. Exports have dropped by almost 20%. Other than exports, the industry, heavy-duty trucks, they have grown by 57%. Light and medium-duty trucks, they have grown by 19%. Buses, they have gone up almost by 4 times. Last year, full year was 17,000. And this year, already 11 months is 53,000. So buses growth is extremely good. So only concern is in exports. Rest everything is going very well, and we are likely to see even better period going forward.
Fair. Just wanted to talk a bit more about the LCV segment because they seem to have declined in sales a tad bit. Is there any pressure as far as the LCV segment is concerned?
You are talking of the smaller commercial vehicles.
Correct. Light commercial vehicles.
Below 3.5 ton. Below 3.5 ton, last month was a little bit down because the last year was very high. Last year, last quarter was a bumper quarter. And then there has been some impact of the CNG issues because CNG last year was very strong. This year, the CNG prices have moved in the direction which are not good for the CNG industry. So CNG market has come down significantly in the light duty trucks as well as in the medium duty trucks. So therefore, there is some concern because of that. But overall, if you look at the industry, even the below 3.5 ton also, the growth till now is around 20% in first 11 months. And we will be very near to the earlier peak of 2018-19.
Okay. Commodity prices, last time when we checked, they were showing signs of coming up. Do you think just when everyone thought that for auto companies margins will now stabilize and they would improve as commodity prices were coming down, do you think the China bug has impacted you again?
Not at the moment. At this point of time, the prices are stable, I would say. There are some demands are coming that there may be some further increase, but as of now we are keeping our fingers crossed.
Do you think that the CAGR growth what the industry has reported, it's almost 20%, little over 20%, could be a multi-year growth next 2 to 3 years? Average growth for the industry could be 20% plus, which means in 3.5 years the industry could double?
I don't know how you calculate the CAGR growth because if you look at from 18-19 we are still lower. 18-19 figures which were there for the industry, 557,000. This year, first 11 months is 411,000. And likely for the month of March, last year March was 53,000. So even if you assume that there may be similar figure, March was very strong last year also. So we may end with 460,000, which is lower than the earlier peak. So CAGR wise, with respect to 18-19, we are still lower as far as the industry is concerned. So therefore, as far as commercial vehicle industry is concerned, we are going to see growth going forward because there is still a lot of pent-up demand and economy is doing well. And new trucks are much more productive than the earlier trucks. Therefore, it makes a lot of sense to replace these trucks. So we are likely to see more growth in the next maybe 1 or 2 years at least.
Keeping in view the new emission norms as well, that's going to kickstart from the 1st of April. How much of incremental sales are you seeing largely on account of the pre-buying factor that we've witnessed in the month of February?
There will always be some psychological impact, even though the price increases are not very, very high this time, because it's not like BS4 to BS6. Because fundamentally, emissions remain same. There is no change in the emission standards. The only change is with respect to how these emissions are monitored. Earlier, these emissions were calibrated at the factory level. Now, in the new standard, when we have OBD2, these emissions have to be proven in the market. When the trucks are running, we have to meet these emission norms for light and medium duty trucks for 6 years and for heavy duty trucks for 7 years. So that is the type of guarantee which the manufacturers have to give, that the trucks will comply with the emission standards for this period of time. And the regulatory authorities, they can pick up any truck after 18 months, and then they will see that whether these trucks are meeting the emission standards or not. And now, to ensure that, some more equipments have been put into the engines and the engine management system, so that these things can be monitored continuously while they are in service. So that is what the change is. So this change is not very large. Therefore, the price increases along with the other normal price increases, which also happen from 1st April. It is likely that the increase may be around 2 to 5%. But of course, there is some psychological impact. People feel that maybe the prices will be more. So maybe some people are doing some pre-buying, whereas there is no need to do that.
And given that at the Auto Expo there was a lot of green technology like hydrogen, fuel cell, etc. In how much time do you think the industry is going to be ready? What are your plans for hydrogen technology on the road?
I think in the green technology, there are a lot of things happening, not only hydrogen. First of all, there are things happening on the alternate fuels. There are things happening on the ethanol blending. There are things happening on the biofuels. There are electric buses. Then hydrogen is in the end. Hydrogen, now the work has started. Government has announced the green hydrogen mission. It will take time. At the same time, simultaneously, industry is getting ready with the technology. For example, we are working on both the hydrogen ICE engine technology as well as hydrogen fuel cells. And we displayed both these vehicles, both these technologies in the Auto Expo. And like that, most of the companies displayed the technologies. So therefore, industry is getting ready with the hydrogen technology, but green hydrogen still, a lot of work has to happen. Therefore, it is likely to take time. But before that, there are other alternate fuels, biofuels, and ethanol blending, and of course, electric vehicles. These are in any case happening more faster than hydrogen.
Okay. All right. Really appreciate your time. So glad you could join us. Finally, the sun is shining bright for the CV industry, and CV industry is always this indicator of indirect robustness in the economy. Now, what